So JuJu Watkins wins Unanimous Player of the Year with The Athletic, and Stephen A. Smith complains she's not getting enough attention. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. We're going 6,000 subscribers, and we need your help. Where else can you see t-shirts like this, Rob? Delusional CC2 fan club member. Where else can you see that besides in this channel?
Very nice, very nice.
I just got this in. Rob's got one coming too. So anyways, just let you know, we've got a new show that just took place a week ago, and it's called Kate and Clark's Crossover, where all we do is talk about Kate and Clark basically and things surrounding Kate and Clark, the WNBA and some college ball. And we have 3 guest panelists every week. It's Monday from 6 to 7 and Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:30. So it's actually twice a week now, starting this Thursday. Join us for that. I feel it's just the opposite of what Stephen A. Smith is saying. And I'm flabbergasted that this is his take that he's having. But
yeah, I mean, it's a strange take because that's the problem was that that's what we kind of alluded to, that's probably why she wasn't doing so well, because she was getting too much of it.
Too much attention and too much comparison to Kate and Clark. It was too much pressure on. She started out the season slowly, and it basically could have cost her Player of the Year because Hannah Dago was the favorite, and along with Lauren Betts, and playing better than her up until the 2 games against UCLA and USC. And I think JuJu Watkins is a tad ahead of those two right now,
right.
and Tanaya Lotson too. So, but she wasn't going to win it if the season progressed the same as it was before. So let's just hear what Stephen A. has to say. Luckily it's a short because I can only take him in short doses.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah.
As you notice, if you watch our channel, even though Stephen A. Smith is the most famous sportscaster and the highest paid sportscaster in the country, I very rarely play him because I get nauseous when I do. So I don't know what to say. I just don't find him nearly as convincing as other people do in terms of his sports takes.
March is going to be a lot of fun. How impressive was JuJu's performance?
She's spectacular. She's spectacular. And when are we going to start talking about her the same way we talk about Caitlin Clark? I mean, you look at her skills, you look at what she is. She is special. When are we going to start doing that?
You never talk about Caitlin Clark.
Something. This sister's got game. Averaged 27 last year, averaging 24 this year. USC is winning. If you look at her skill sets, her ball handling ability, her driving ability, her shot making ability, her 3-point shooting shot making ability, this sister is something special. She is spectacular. Pull up Jay right there. She is the package, and she's been the package. We saw her coming last year, but now that Caitlin Clark is gone, we should be focusing on her even more so now. And just like I told you when Caitlin Clark was the golden goose, I said that's the golden goose. That didn't mean she was the best player in the world. It meant that she was pretty damn good and coming, okay? And the fans loved her. I'm saying the only question now about JuJu is, why is she not being shown more love? Because clearly she deserves it.
Yeah.
So, does he even watch his own station and what they say about her?
Does he pay attention to the media, Rob?
Yeah.
It's insanity. He said, when are we going to start paying attention? They gave her more attention than any other athlete for accomplishing less in the history of sports. And he's saying, when are we going to start talking about her more? Let's review. Paige Beckers, as a freshman, won Player of the Year. Caitlin Clark was up there and was the first-team All-American from the Writers Association and second-team All-American with AP, but she should have been like second in the country in voting, maybe first. She might have been Player of the Year. And nobody was talking about it that much other than her exciting play. They weren't obsessed with it. She led the country in scoring and went second in assists. Very rare. The next year as a sophomore, she led the country in scoring and assists. And she was second in the Player of the Year voting, but she wasn't Player of the Year. And we weren't talking about her like crazy. So then we didn't go crazy about her until she was a junior when she was Player of the Year. And she had that run in the NCAA tournament where she took a bunch of 3-star and a couple 4-star recruits to the finals and she had a 40-point triple-double and almost a 40-point triple-double again in a row, 2 games in a row, and she almost single-handedly beat South Carolina, who was an undefeated team, one of the greatest teams in the history of women's basketball. They would have gone down as that if they had not lost to Caitlin Clark's team. And that's when they started talking about Caitlin Clark. It wasn't after her freshman year, even though she had just as good as freshman year as JuJu Watkins did. What happened after JuJu Watkins had a freshman year and she made first team All-American freshman of the year? Great. There was a documentary about her. And people started saying she's the odds-on favorite to win player of the year the next year. And also that she was the face of the league unequivocally. Face of the country, face of women's basketball, not league, I guess, not WNBA. Just this drives me crazy, Rob.
Yeah, they already donned her as that's it. Everybody else doesn't matter. It's JuJu Watkins and everybody else, even over Caitlin Clark. Like who?
We don't have to find her as good or as exciting as Caitlin Clark because you want us to. Okay. First of all, I don't think she's as good as Caitlin Clark. Who knows what she's going to end up? And she's a great talent. Could be the greatest player of all time in both college and WNBA. I don't know, but she's not there yet. And she's more of a one-on-one player who's not a high percentage shooter. She's not great at that. And she also has as many turnovers and assists. And she doesn't really make her teammates better like Caitlin Clark does. That's what people don't see. And she's not nearly as exciting.
Yeah, Mark, just like when you had your panel last night with Adrian, she's boring. She's not. There's nothing exciting about her. Plus, the main thing is that stop pushing, stop shoving this person down our throats. They get this one person, and they're so excited to want to make them better than Caitlin Clark, and even compare. They keep putting Caitlin Clark's name in there like she's not Caitlin Clark. She's a different individual, different type of player, and different color. So.
Well, that's the key here, Rob.
Yep, that's the key.
I mean, to say she's not getting the love, she could be the first player to play in the NBA. I've heard she's the GOAT already after her freshman year. I've heard she's the Michael Jordan of basketball. I heard there's nothing she can't do. When the announcers do her games, they never point out anything she does wrong. Everything she does, even though let's say it's a good play, it says, "Wow, that was unbelievable."
Mark, they have to
rate everything about her.
Mark, they have to wipe their mouths from the drool that they keep on just talking about her. They could need a towel next to them just to wipe their mouths from drooling while watching her play.
And all of this, Rob, she got so much of the stuff that he says she's not getting. The pressure got to her when she started out the season slowly. Because I think she's talented. I think it was the pressure. I don't think it was because she's not talented. And that's on them. And almost cost her player of the year. And she didn't. She finished strong. I gave her a very slight edge over the other players, but it's pretty close. But she wouldn't have gotten there if she hadn't broke out of her slump. And it felt, though, Rob, like they wanted to give it to her before the season started, like A'ja Wilson last year in the WNBA. That's what it felt like. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it.
They kind of hedging between her and Paige, but they were definitely leaning more towards her than Paige.
Right. Oh, yeah, but that only lasted in the beginning of the year. Once the season started, it was, they were still talking more about JuJu than Paige.
Well, Hannah said, she doesn't drink. So Hannah says, hold my Coke. Let me show you what I can do.
Yeah, and she got off to a great start. And I would have voted for her before the first UCLA-USC game. And I still would have probably voted her after that one, but I thought it was really close and almost a tie. And then after the UCLA-USC game, the second one, I'm willing to vote for JuJu. But that's the first time all year I would say that. I would have voted for Hannah the whole year because she outplayed her. But and you can still make the argument that Hannah outplayed her. She shoots at a much higher percentage, and she has a lot more steals. Guess what? She moves the needle. Because
it's almost like it's like when I was coaching basketball. My seventh grade team was mostly white, but then we were playing this all black team, and then the coach called a timeout, and then one of the black players go like, "They play like us." I'm like, but Caitlin Clark's playing. She's playing like that's the same thing. They're like, who's this white girl playing like she got handles, she can shoot. How the nerve of her? This is our game. The nerve.
So the vote was unanimous, Rob, and I just want to say that 3 broadcasters lost their mind because it was unanimous. Yeah, usually when it's a close vote like this, it's not unanimous. So I understand their viewpoint, but that doesn't mean it has to be not unanimous just because it's close. It
Right.
doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And we don't know how big a committee it was. All it says in the Atlantic, and I'll read a little bit from it. They said it was close. They said after last season, in which Player of the Year debate was more like a foregone conclusion, because Caitlin Clark had won it the year before and played even better her senior year. So that's why they're saying that.
Mhm.
This season's race was far more crowded, with players putting their cases on the floor until the final day of the season, or in the case of the Athletics pick, the second to last day of the season, with a 30-point, 5 assists, 2 steal, 3 block performance Saturday against crosstime rival UCLA. USC sophomore JuJu Watkins sealed her spot as our National Player of the Year. Her unanimous selection by the Athletics Committee of Voters follows her recognition as the Athletics National Freshman of the Year last season. So it's a committee, but I read the whole article, and it doesn't say how many people are in the committee. So it could be 3 people. So
Right.
it might not be a big deal. 3 out of 3. 100 out of 100, that'd be kind of suspicious, given that it's a close race. But that's not my problem. I don't have a problem with the unanimous version. I have a problem with they wanted to give it to her before the season started. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah. But I mean, but like going back to Stephen A., proclaiming that they don't promote her enough. Come on, what are you doing? What are you watching? You're right there. You have 11 million TVs on ESPN. You have million stations. You mean to
They
tell
have
me?
their own show, Rob. They can promote her, and they don't.
Right.
They talk about Caitlin Clark more than JuJu Watkins. Why? Because people want to hear about Caitlin Clark more than JuJu Watkins because she's more popular and she's more exciting.
He sounded like I was promoting her. She's the golden girl. He made like he was always talking about Caitlin Clark, which was bullshit.
He pretended he discovered Caitlin Clark.
But the same thing with the Olympics. He was sitting there. He didn't promote her. He was just saying that she was good only because the market value, not because she was a good ball player.
I was watching ESPN. I don't even watch women's basketball at the time. And Carolyn Peck came on. And she was talking, it was a halftime show for some, I guess it must have been a UConn game, because I once in a while watch UConn. And she said the most exciting woman in college basketball is freshman Caitlin Clark of Iowa. She shoots logo threes like Steph Curry. That's what she said. And she's very exciting. I said, I like logo threes. A woman doing like Steph Curry? Most of the men in the NBA can't do that. So I checked her out, Rob, and she was the most exciting woman athlete I'd seen. And Carolyn Peck said she shoots logo threes like Steph Curry in her freshman year. Stephen A. Smith, 2 years later, says, I'm the one that's been saying she's the Steph Curry of women's basketball. When Carolyn Peck said it, early in her freshman year, like after a few games, like 2 or 3 games into her freshman year, Carolyn Peck said it. Stephen A. Smith didn't say it. Right. So stop it. A lot of people were saying it before he ever said it, because they weren't talking about it on First Take, because he doesn't follow women's basketball. No. And neither did I at the time. So it's just
So they just need to again. She's playing a lot better the last few games. Just stop the hype. The tournament's coming up with the Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA tournament's coming up. We'll see how players do.
And she has this year. She didn't have a talented team last year, Rob. So you can see why she shot as much as she did, and her shooting percentage wasn't high. It's higher this year, but she has more talent around her this year. She has more talent on this USC team than Caitlin Clark had on either of her Iowa teams that she dragged to the national finals. So we'll see how good she is, because she's got more talent than Caitlin Clark did her junior and senior year. So we'll find out how she does.
Yeah,
I'm not rooting against her. I just want you to be honest about it. I think it's just the opposite of what Stephen A. Smith says. And that implies to me he's seen color. And if you want to call that racist, we'll call it racist. But it's wrong. That's all I can say. All right. Well, let us know what you think down below. I'm sorry. We're already going to do a video on JuJu Watkins before this came out, saying she got too much attention already. And he comes out and says just the opposite. So I'm cracking up.
Yeah.
If you like this video, hit the like button. Let us know what you think down below. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Make Rob happy. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. And join us for our new show, Caitlin Clark's Crossover. And we'll talk about JuJu Watkins. We did last night. And we actually discussed this, that she was overhyped and overrated because they wanted to replace Caitlin Clark already. We all know that's what happened.
Right.
Anyways, so it's Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, except for major holidays. And now Thursday, this will be our first Thursday show. We've had 2 Monday shows at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, except for major holidays. Again, join us for that. We have 3 esteemed panelists every week. And we talk about Caitlin Clark, and it's like sports reporters. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. We'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.